It is official. Governor Rick Scott is running for the U.S. Senate. He says there needs to be a shakeup in Washington.
I didn't fit into Tallahassee because I didn't play the insider games. I never intended to fit into Tallahassee, and guess what? I'm not going to fit into Washington either.
Scott is a Republican, two-term Florida governor, first elected in 2010. He will challenge longtime incumbent Democrat Senator Bill Nelson come November. And even before making that announcement, it was pretty clear to most political observers that Governor Scott was interested in running for the U.S. Senate.
The question is, how will the actions and reputation of President Donald Trump influence this election? Jeff Patterson joins us now after talking with voters about key issues that could impact this campaign.
It wasn't exactly a secret that the governor would run for the Senate seat. There is no question that President Trump and his administration will have a heavy influence in this campaign, a very divisive influence.
As Rick Scott declared himself a political outsider, that seemed to appeal to some.
I'm a heavy Trump supporter.
Francis Werner is a Trump supporter, and not surprisingly, he wants to see Rick Scott in the U.S. Senate.
Well, Governor Scott has done, in my opinion, an excellent job.
In fact, the issue of Donald Trump seemed to be a big factor with voters we spoke with. Mary Jordan sees Rick Scott as a big Trump supporter, and that will sway her vote.
So I think he's going to be Trump's guy.
So how will that influence your vote?
I won't vote for Rick Scott.
But for those who do support President Trump, they see immigration as a key issue in the campaign. And supporters of the president believe Rick Scott will help the president get what he wants.
Because I think that's something we definitely need to do is strengthen the borders to keep those who shouldn't be out and those who are going to make the country better in.
While those who support Bill Nelson have a very different view.
I don't think the wall is the answer, first and foremost. The wall is not going to fix anything. People will go around the wall, under the wall, they'll blow the wall off. The wall is not going to fix anything. I think it's a matter of immigration reform.
That man is an immigrant himself and a U.S. military veteran. Coming up at 6, we'll look at two other key campaign issues, offshore drilling and gun control.
Thanks, Jeff. And Governor Rick Scott will be joining us live in studio during News Channel 8 today. Gail Guayardo and Marco Villarreal will talk with him about his Senate run tomorrow at 6:30 a.m.
And as we often remind you, the I-4 corridor plays an important role in elections. 8 is on your side with continuing coverage of the Senate race at WFLA.com and our News Channel 8 app. We're asking the candidates where they stand on issues that are important to you.